What's up, guys? It's your boy Jesse James coming at you with some Overwatch candy, some General Grievous candy, General Grievous versus Gara, Star Fox, Ryu, and a Dragon Warrior in the back. Will he win? Who knows? Alright, welcome to Chapter 3, author's favorite. Let's get it. Chapter 3, Shino Kage, in the Line of Fire. The Ryu clan member spat a small amount of blood on the ground. Learn to control your pet, Raydon. He rubbed his throat. Raydon Lee turned to the still crumpled over Grim Reaper. I will not have broken merchandise. If you pull a stunt like that again, the deal is off. Satan promised me your cooperation. I cannot have death flying off the handle like this. Learn to control your bloodlust. Don't raise your voice at me, mortal. I will kill you first when the bonzi wears off and Master arrives, the Grim Reaper said in a panted voice. One thing I am curious about. Why this burning passion or hate or whatever it is you creatures feel towards a mortal like Kanbei? You humans and your stupid endless questions, always in search for knowledge, reminds me of God and his goody two-shoes angels. Whys do you do this? Whys do you do that? Ugh, I hate him. I hate them all. Raydon Lee pressed another symbol and muttered another set of words, another demonic cry. Fines, fines, fines. If you must know, I finds it offensive and highly irritating for a mere man, gifted or not, to claim to be my shadow. I want to put him to the test and see if he truly is immortal and cans not die. Oh, by the way, we are on 663 seals. The last 10 are the funnest, the Grim Reaper said, twisting its teeth into a sadistic smile. And like that, the Grim was gone. The 663rd seal was a mortal, had to be given the Judas kiss, a bond that was ancient Hebrew that symbolized the ultimate deception. The 664th was a blood moon. The 665th was Grim Reaper had to consume the soul and the heart of the prisoner of the Judas kiss. 666 seal broken was a full-body takeover of the victim. This was stronger than any possession. Author's note. I don't really know anything about the 666 seals except they were placed on Lucifer by God to keep him from fully entering Earth realm. But for fun fact, we're going to go with that. He'll be back, Kanbei. This time, he will come back for revenge. No. He will be back, Kanbei. He will be back, Kanbei. This time he will come back for revenge. An angered ninja speedster is not something you want to play with. I want these top couple of floors changed around to strongly resemble his hometown. His house, his dojo, even Danyo Quickie Mart. If he's too busy replaying the murder of his parents, it'll dull him enough to slip him the drug. Burn Japanese petals like his father used to. Ground the petals into a fine powder, and then burn them. Make the fragrance overpowering. Page 103. Back in Washington, D.C., the Shelby Cobra popped a wheelie as it roared and slammed the back wheels in the wheelie bar. The Cobra landed, then drifted around the corner of Buffalo Disco, a restaurant quite popular in D.C. 3 minutes later, a low purr sounded, and the skyline drifted into sight. Come on, Scorpion, where you at? I know I'm good, but I know you're not trying as hard either, T-Rex proclaimed. Johnny shifted and tried to pass. Ho ho ho, you gotta try harder than that. They both passed the Memorial Bridge. Click click went the police meters in their cars. The Skylines took the lead around Detroit's street. They passed the Washington, D.C. hospital. The league back at the pipeline cheered. Johnny's Skyline hissed as it got a triple shot of nitrous injection into the piston chamber. Vaunt! The engine clicking over to the next gear, now pushing 135. T-Rex's Cobra was pushing 130. Both of their GPSs blinking. Hey, Scorp. T. This is Biggie. Page 104. Somebody called in the race. Finish up quickly. You got 10 minutes before all of Washington's blue and red lights are looking for you. Got it, Biggie, Scorp said. Thanks for the lookout, brother. T-Rex said. Good luck. Don't get caught. The moonlight was bright, and the moon was high in the sky. As if heaven itself stood still, a silver spotlight fixed upon the racers and the unforgiving stretches of the tarmac and asphalt. Excuse me. They both drifted around Kirby's Donuts. The wheels squealed as T-Rex took the lead back at the pipelines. Hoops and hollers with ohs and aw snaps echoed through the air as some league members watched on their cell phones and some watched on the mounted TVs. T-Rex finished a corner drift just as he caught a blue glimmer of something out of the corner of his eye. A blue and black cop car just pulled out of a subway. The scanner mounted on top of the front bumper instantly recognizes T-Rex's Cobra. It scanned the license plate. Suddenly felt like time slowed down. The database computer in the cop car started blinking. T-Rex turned his head and saw the cop. Shit! The cop was enjoying a sub from Subway on his lunch break. He took a bite and reached for a napkin. He noticed the blinking light. What, computer, what? What can you not see I'm eating lunch? He flipped the computer up and a mugshot of Tyrone Johnson, a light brown male, 6 foot, 2 sleeves of tattoos. The tattoos were 700 different skull and crossbone designs and just skull graffiti, weighing in at 200 pounds. He had a stout, muscular face, a face that looked like it could be on the cover of Men's Health. A light beard with sideburns, well shaven, a convicted felon, 94 counts of Grand Theft Auto, 25 counts of drug running and distribution, and 50 counts of miscellaneous charges. Johnny drifted around the corner, saw the cop flick on his lights. Crap. Don't do anything stupid, T. The cop looked up from the computer as Tyrone and the cop's eyes met. He heard the cop say, "Oh, crap, that's Tyrone Johnson." Woo whoop. It was a blue state-issued Dodge Charger. It had white letters printed on the side on the hood. Washington, D.C. Police. Command, this is Officer Cornwells. I'm in pursuit of two street racers, a black and green Shelby Cobra with skulls. Need backup. Gotta check on that Cobra driver. A Tyrone Johnson. Roger that, officer. Backup is on its way. PSU has also been notified. The Charger took off after them. Woo whoop! Wee 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 wee. Tyrone Johnson, stop the car, and you will have minimum charges placed against you. Tyrone Johnson? Who's that? Johnny asked silently. What are you talking about, copper? The following explained his question. T-Rex locked the brakes up, spun the car around. He then shifted into reverse. I'm not going back! He rolled the window down and T-Rex leaned back to grab the stolen shotgun. As soon as he reached and touched the Sega 20 gauge shotgun, a flashback. Everything was fantastic before the police busted him for the drug distribution and mafia involvement. He had a decent job, but it barely paid the bills. He had a beautiful family, a decent house with half an acre of land, and his father's fully restored 68 Shelby Cobra he built from the frame up. One day, he lost his job for getting in a fight with another coworker who was running his mouth about him and his wife. Constantly talking trash about until finally T snapped and slugged him with a nasty uppercut, sending the dude rightfully to the ER with a concussion and a fractured jaw. T had picked up an underground fight club and learned how to box. Well, enough he could go into the octagon and go 3 rounds or 4. Everything went downhill after that. It had been 5 years since he was arrested and deemed a convict. He didn't expect the police to understand. He didn't do anything but sell the drugs to get money to put food on the table. No job would hire him because he had a 50-page rap sheet and was a convict. He refused to be homeless. But there was a few nights when... Page 106. Peanut butter and jelly was all they could afford. In the beginning, spaghetti and meatballs was a luxury as shrimp, lobster, and crab. It was all he could do to keep the electric and water running, and keeping the blankets. No, I'm sorry. Keeping the bankers from evicting him. He almost had to sell the Shelby twice, but luckily, thank God, or whoever, he made enough payday to squeeze by each month. After a year of surviving like this, he began to grow in faith. And because either the supplier was generous, felt bad for him, or felt bad for him and gave him a little extra to squeeze by, or there was a heavenly God helping him with multiple miracles. In return, allowed him to keep his house while feeding his family and still able to rub 2 pennies together for gas for the Shelby. No moving up, no thriving, just surviving. Managing. He never used any of the products he sold. How the police pinned that charge on him, he had no idea. He kept his selling very quiet. He often talked to his security, a couple of hundred decent guys that knew what it was like to be kicked while you were down and hurting. He became a very, very good at the game. Things started looking up. Bigger paydays, and to the point where he was able to buy his supplier's warehouse out for 400 grand. His supplier probably didn't realize that the warehouse had over 500 million in product. Neither realized until one day a very deep-pocketed crime lord approached him. He said he was part of the largest Japanese mafia called the Black Dragon. He didn't bear the sign. He was just a hired gun. A very highly, handsomely paid gun. A collector of sorts. He was a white male who had a face that looked like he just walked off the set of The Godfather. $10,000 blue suit, Rolex watch, went by the name of John Kemp. A man who looked connected, a hardened face, intelligent eyes, good manners. Greedy is all sin, but good manners. John Kemp met Tyrone, who was slowly becoming a big-time roller. John Kemp offered to buy him out of the game. You see, Mr. T, my supplier has noticed your growth in the industry, and you are making them nervous, very nervous. You are a fantastic salesman, but sadly, you're becoming competition. They do not like competition, so they authorize me to ask to buy you completely out of the game. Every dime bag to that gigantic warehouse. Every drop. Page 107. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not going to just drop everything. I have mouths to feed it and a roof to keep up. I'm not walking away for a couple bucks. I completely understand. But my supplier is offering to set you up, your kids, your wife, for life. We're talking many zeros. John Kemp said with a crooked smile. You ain't got that kind of bread. Tyrone said harshly. I don't know. But my supplier has, how do you say, very thick pockets. He paused as Tyrone tilted his coffee to his mouth and started taking a sip of coffee. How does 10 billion sound? T inhaled more hot coffee than he intended to. It rushed up his nose and as he snorted some out, while the rest burned his throat. He choked the coffee down and coughed. Ah, shit. He rubbed his throat. Was this the winter's wind blowing in my ears, or did you just say 10 billion, like 10 with a hell of a lot of zeros behind it? He smiled evilly. The talk of money made him feel alive. It wasn't the wind, Mr. T. I said it. How's 10 billion sound? Damn! Lord of mercy. Man, get the step in. Ain't nobody got no time for jokesters. I got a business to run. You definitely don't have that kind of bread. I should shoot you and making me burn myself with that foolishness. I assure you, Mr. T, my suppliers are good to their word. When they want something, they can be very persuasive. Tyrone began to get the feeling that this John Kemp cat was telling the truth. Alright, so your supplier has deep pockets. What's keeping them from robbing me blind? Then I'm gonna have to cause an incident. Besides, that could be a Renatox. Ouch, if those were stones, Mr. Johnson. I see how you got where you're at. He nodded, and he reached into his pocket and pulled out a burner phone. I'll tell you what. How about you talk to my supplier directly if you're still unsure? He flicked the phone open and dialed a number. It rang, then a Russian with an American accent answered. Hello! That sounded Mexican. Anyway, I'm not good with my impersonations. Leave me alone. John Kemp here. What's up, John? You remember that high roller you wanted me to talk to? Yes. Yes. Page 108. Alright, I'm right next to him. I offered him a deal to buy him out of the business like you asked. One problem. I don't like the way I don't like the sound of a what? I don't like the sound of where this is going. John looked at Tyrone and smiled. He doesn't think your company is good for their money. A hearty laugh exploded on the other side. That's no problem. Put him on the phone. My supplier wants to talk to you. He handed the phone to Tyrone. Ty studied the face of John Kemp. If you're wasting my time, I'll kill you. He took the phone out of Kemp's hands. Hello, Kemp's supplier? Oh, hello, Kemp's supplier. Mr. Johnson, I am Francisco Bolero, Russian hitman and intelligence and communication for the most powerful mafia on Earth, Japanese Black Dragon. What did he offer you? 10 billion. Good price. Your warehouse is worth how much? I just met you people. I'm not telling you. Okay, here's what I do for you. I'll transfer to a Swiss bank account, give you access code. You see money is good, you leave selling for good. 10 billion, walk away. Ty wanted to test the waters, see what kind of money to burn. They have to have done more than drug selling to get that kind of dough. How dangerous are you guys? If I don't? A surprised snicker from both John Kemp and Francisco Bolero. I would be very disappointed to hear that, and his voice became more grim. My boss would see you as a threat. Competition and, well, in nice terms, we would make your life a living hell. that would make hell look like a candy land. Okay. His conscience told him these guys are the real deal. Grade A organized crime. Cold-blooded. You could hear that in their voice. This Kemp dude smelled of greedy businessman type. Transfer the money first. He told them his offshore bank account number. Ah, you were testing the waters to see if we were legit. I respect that. Okay, I'll transfer it. You have 2 days to contact Mr. Kemp with your answer. If you don't respond in 2 days, I will take every penny back. Page 109. I'll see the money and then we'll talk. A moment of silence. It is done. Swiss bank account. And the code is 2034-A gingerbread. We'll be in touch, Mr. Johnson. The phone clicked and then went dead. He handed the phone back to John Kemp. See you in 2 days, Mr. Johnson. He began to walk off. How do I know to find you, John Kemp? The suited figure looked over his shoulder. You don't. I'll find you. Be at the local bar at around 6 p.m. It didn't dawn on him till Kemp said that sentence, but to the bar. But this John Kemp character had an extremely heavy Boston, Massachusetts accent. Good at anything to keep tabs on this shady character. After the deal was made, it seemed somehow dealing with the Boston man. The alphabet agencies began to take an interest in him. From then on, he couldn't pluck a nose hair without hitting a cop. Then came the squealer who gave the confession to the cops. Then, just after him and his family sold the house and moved out of the slums into a nice rancher, things finally began to get better until one day. Sophie, come to the table. Ryan, come downstairs and help your sister. Dad, I'm busy. I don't care, Ryan, now. A gigantic teenager sigh. Oh, fine. Sophie, you dork. Dad wants us to come set the table. The 7-year-old was in her room. You're a dork, she snapped back. She got up and they both walked down the stairs. The 16-year-old lightly punched her in the shoulder. Ow! Mom! He punched me, and it really hurts. You're such a jerk. Don't be such a baby. Ryan got to the bottom of the steps and was met with a firm gib slap across the back of the head from his father. What did I tell you about punching your sister? You were twice her size. Apologize. I don't know if I have time to read another page. We're gonna stop at 110.